Okay, welcome to Math 2B Financial Literacy. Today we are going to be working on Lesson 2. So you want to definitely go to our webpage. Go to Lesson 2. Remember, we're working on investing. So you'll want to come down here. Lesson 2, go ahead and click there. Notice it says make a copy. Go ahead, click the link. Now, as it says make a copy, make sure you come up here to our title. Go ahead and put in your first name and last initial. That's always the first thing that you should do as soon as you get a document. Now, what's cool about this is when it says make a copy, it's actually doing the work for you. Sometimes during this lesson, you will have to actually make the copy on your own, and I will show you how to do that. Now, we are working on investing. If you come to this worksheet right here at the top, you always want to go ahead and learn about what we are going to do today. In this lesson, you will learn to explain what it means to own stock and how you can make money from it. You will learn to identify the risk of investing your money in the stock market. You will learn to analyze the performance of individual stocks over time. So this is a lot for one lesson. So I'm going to let you know that one lesson is supposed to take about 45 minutes or one day. I'm always going to assign you 2 days because I know it might take us a little bit longer with doing this virtual online thing. Now, when you go ahead and get started, the discussion prompt is always there just to get you thinking. If you click on the blue, it does take you to a Google Doc, and it gives you basically the same question in a Google slide. We don't need to click the blue links for our discussion prompts. It just causes more paperwork. So let's go ahead and just read the question. It says, what comes to mind when you hear the term stock market? Now, this is expecting that you may not know anything about the stock market. So what do you think comes to mind? Anything works. There's no wrong answer. This takes about an estimated time of 5 minutes. So pause the video, take a few minutes, type in your response, and then press play when you're ready to go on to the next question. Okay, here we are at the next one. How the stock exchange works. I'm going to read through the instructions and then we'll take a look at the questions. This says, what is the stock exchange and how does it work? Watch this German video to find out. The facts are true in the US too. And follow your teacher's directions to answer the questions either in your student activity packet or within Edpuzzle itself. So it's going to give you a chance to actually answer the questions in the Edpuzzle video. You can do that, but remember what your answers are so that you can come back and click them here. When Edpuzzle makes their answer choices in their questions, they mix them up. So if you check B for number 1 in Edpuzzle, it may not be B in this section. So make sure you remember what the actual answer is, not just the A, B, C, D. Now, this does say estimated time 5 minutes, but remember, I am turning this lesson into a 2-day. So in this case, you might take 10 minutes to do this one, especially since the video is about 3.5 minutes. Now, once you're ready, you're going to click on the blue link. It is going to take you to the Edpuzzle. Now, we're not going to watch this video together in this Screencastify. This is where you'll want to stop my video, and then you'll want to press play on the Edpuzzle. If you'll notice down here across the bottom, it will stop at each of these little spots and ask you a question. You will answer the question. You can press submit, but always remember in your head what you were answering and maybe jot it down if you want to. So notice that this video is 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Pause when you need to. If you need to rewatch a section, then rewatch a section. So go ahead and pause my video right now and do this section. When you're done, come back and we'll go back to our worksheet. Okay, now that you have finished, go ahead and mark your answers here. To mark your answers, you could just go ahead and highlight the answer and hit highlight. Right up here, you can highlight. Now, I'm purposely picking the wrong answer so that you can pick the right answer on your own. But notice how I can actually mark my answer by highlighting. Okay, and if you ever want to undo something, then go ahead and click undo, and it goes away. Now let's go ahead and do number 3. Number 3, read. What does it mean to own stock? So notice that this is going to be an article that I'm going to have to read. I notice that this says estimated time 20 minutes. So if you need to take 30, 35 minutes to read through this, then go ahead and do that. In the previous video, we learned specifically about how the stock exchange works. Let's take a deeper look at what it means to own an individual stock in this activity. Follow the directions on the worksheet to complete this activity. So I'm going to go ahead and click read. Notice it takes me to another NGPF document. Now, when I give you the documents, I make it easy by giving you a copy to begin with. NGPF does not do that. So you'll notice up here at the top, it says request edit access. That means you can type on this document. As of right now, I can't type on it. See, I'm trying to type, nothing's happening. Now, if you hit request edit access, it is going to send an email to NGPF, and it's going to ask them if you can type on their document. Of course, they're going to say no. So do not press this edit access button. It won't get you anywhere. What you want to do is come over here to File and make a copy. Now, what's cool is when you make a copy on your own, instead of me forcing it to happen, you can actually rename it right here. So, and get rid of that copy of, and I'm going to put Lana J. And I can put it wherever I want to put it. Now, I don't want it in that extras. I want it in my document. So I have to go all the way back to my drive. So you see how I had to click backwards multiple times to get to my drive? So I'm going to click my drive and hit select. Oh, whoops, sorry, my drive. Even my internet's slow sometimes. Now, once I'm in my drive, I can actually just save it, or you can put it in a folder. I'm going to try to make you guys a video on how to make folders. I have a financial literacy folder, so I'm going to put it right there and hit select. I'm going to press OK. And now it makes me my own copy, so I can type on it and I don't have to worry about typing on NGPF's copy. So if you'll notice, at this point, there is a Spanish version. So if you prefer to do all of your reading in Spanish, there is a Spanish version. Go ahead and click that. Now, as you read through this article, notice the article again is in blue, but I'm going to look at my worksheet first. It is asking me questions. In fact, it asked me 2 questions about what is a stock. Then it asked me a question about how much value does one share have. Then it asks me some questions about why would you want to own a share of Exxon? Exxon is a gas company. Then they ask you questions, if I want to buy a stock, what's the process? And what questions do you still have? Now, this is going to take you quite a while, probably 30 to 40 minutes. I am going to be working on, if you notice, if you click on this, it takes you to the actual article. Now, once you get to the article, it is kind of a long article. As soon as I get done with this video, I am going to work on reading this out loud so that you can actually just follow along and listen to me read it. I still have an hour and a half before class So I think I can get that taken care of. I know sometimes sitting here and reading a whole article by yourself is overwhelming. So I'm going to do what I can to get it read to you so that it's not so overwhelming. Okay, and while I'm doing that, I'll probably stop and talk about some of the vocabulary as well. Okay, so notice that it actually wasn't quite as long as I thought it was. It stopped right here. Okay, it talks about what a mutual fund is. Okay, so I'm going to close this right now. And like I said, I'm going to try to get you guys an audio version of this. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to come back to my read document. And after I listen to it, I'm not going to read all of the instructions because I know you guys can read instructions. After you listen to this, then you can come back and type in your answers here. Now, like I said, this is going to take a while. Show persistence and perseverance and get through the document. Once you have finished this, remember the video that shows you how to save it as a PDF. You download and save as a PDF so that you can turn this into me. This is a piece of evidence that I will put into Empower, so you do need to have this completed. Now, once you've completed this and you have downloaded it as a PDF, then you will want to go back to my website and submit it here. Remember, if you don't remember how to submit, then you want to watch the video. Okay, let's get back to our assignment. So now you have done step 3. Remember, it might take you 40 minutes to do that. Now's the fun one. This one is cool. Notice that this estimated time is 10. If it takes you 20, that's okay. They are giving you stock performances for 4 companies. They are going to tell you what stock is for Chipotle, what stock is for Nike, Amazon, and Snap. I think Snap is Snapchat. I would have to double check that. Now, as you look at these, you are going to review each one, and I'm going to go through one with you. You are then going to come back and answer these 4 questions. Notice they ask you a question about each of the companies here. They ask you about the companies here. Then they ask you specifically about Chipotle and Amazon. So what this means is I'm going to click one. Let's check out Chipotle. Whoops, my mouse is doing something funny. Here we go. Okay, so this is just a basic understanding of Chipotle's stock. Now, if you'll notice, in order to buy one piece of Chipotle, you would need to spend $1,316.15. That's a lot of money. Now, what does all of this mean? Notice that this is my one-day trading. So if I take a look at the one-day trading, Chipotle actually started this morning right here, which is below $1,290. So when Chipotle started this morning, it actually tells you right here, the low. The low today was $1,275. Just today, because notice it, oh, and this is the stock market. Notice it says 9:30. That's because the stock market's in New York. It's really 6:30 here. Okay. So the stock market opens at 6:30 for us, but 9:30 for those people who live on the East Coast. So it started at $1,288. Then the stock went up, and then the stock came down. And notice it's even telling you the time at which it went up and went down. So at the time that I'm making this video, Chipotle is at its highest point, which is $1,316.52. Throughout today, that will change depending on how many people want to buy it. Now, if you want to look at what Chipotle's done over the last 5 days, click 5 days. Now, this isn't 5 days like including Monday, Saturday, Sunday, this last weekend. It's only counting the business days. So if you'll notice that actually Chipotle, here is today, Chipotle is actually down. Last week, Chipotle was up at $1,379. So you can kind of move this and play with this. 1 month. So this is looking at Chipotle over the last month. Actually, over the last month, Chipotle has grown. So Chipotle started down at $1,161 a month ago, and it slowly is coming up. You know, it kind of goes up and down. It's like a roller coaster. It got really high on September 2nd, but then it dropped again. Now we can look at the last 6 months. Ooh, look at how much Chipotle's grown in the last 6 months. If we had bought Chipotle back in March, it would have been $465. That means if I had put $465 into Chipotle on March 18th, that's like right after we closed school, I would now have $1,325. That means I would have made almost $900. The problem is, way back in March, I didn't know that Chipotle was going to do that. That is the risk. Now we can look at year to date versus 1 year. So what's Chipotle been doing for the year? What's Chipotle been doing for the last 5 years? Okay, so you can see how much they have grown over the last 5 years. So this is really kind of cool to look at. And I'm going to let you know, it get kind of addicting. You're like, ooh, can I figure out what the stock market's going to do? I'm going to let you know, not all stocks do this. Okay, let's go ahead. So that's Chipotle. And those are the things that I think about when I'm looking at Chipotle. Let's go ahead and close this. You now get to do that for Nike and Amazon and Snap. You're going to just get to know those 4 companies. Then come over here and answer these 4 questions. Now I'm going to let you know, this says estimated time 10 minutes. I would say 20 minutes, but sometimes it's kind of cool to really dig in deep. If you are interested in this, then take a little bit more time, but you should probably take at least 20 minutes. Remember, you do have to come back and answer these questions. Now, once you're done with that, you're in the last question of the document. It is your exit ticket. So make sure you just answer these in your own words. It says 5 minutes, probably somewhere 5 to 10. Once you have finished this document, then it is time to turn it in. You're come to File, you're going to come to Download, and you're going to make a PDF, just like the video shows you. Once you have finished this, then you're going to come back here and you are going to submit it back here again. Now, if you submit and this disappears, just refresh your page. Just click this and this submission field comes back. Okay, I know that might have been kind of fast. Remember, you can always stop and rewind, or you can pause the video while you get work done. And if you have questions, come into the chat room.